Imagine opening your mailbox to find a letter from the CRA. As a retiree, your heart might skip a beat. Is it a review? An audit? But as you open it, your eyes widen. It's news about your OAS, and it's not just any update. The government is substantially increasing your monthly payment, potentially to around $1,700. That's right, $1,700 every month, guaranteed. For many, that's nearly double what they're receiving now. This isn't a hypothetical scenario or a hopeful prediction. It's real, confirmed news from the CRA that's about to change the financial landscape for retirees across Canada. In today's Seniors Money video, we're going to walk you through this groundbreaking change. By the end, you'll understand not just the what and why, but also how to make sure you're one of the many seniors who'll benefit from this historic OAS increase. Welcome to Seniors Money, your trusted source for financial insights tailored specifically for Canadian retirees. I'm Michael, your host, and today, we're diving into groundbreaking news that could significantly impact your retirement income. The Canada Revenue Agency, CRA, has just confirmed a substantial increase in old age security, OAS payments, potentially boosting your monthly income to around $1,700. This isn't just another minor adjustment. It's a game changer that could reshape retirement for seniors across the country. In this video, we'll break down this exciting development, explain who's eligible, discuss how this increase came about, and most importantly, show you how to ensure you're not missing out on this substantial boost to your retirement funds. Whether you're already receiving OAS or nearing eligibility, this information is critical. So grab a cup of coffee, get comfortable, and let's dive into this OAS revelation that's set to transform retirement for thousands of Canadians. Stay with me because this isn't just another incremental change. It's a pivotal moment that could mean the difference between just getting by and truly enjoying your golden years. Whether it's traveling more, spoiling your grandkids, or finally tackling those home renovations, this OAS boost could make those dreams a reality. Don't touch that screen. Your financial future might just depend on what you learn in the next few minutes. Understanding OAS basics. Before we dive into the exciting news, let's make sure everyone is on the same page about what old age security OAS is. OAS is a cornerstone of Canada's retirement income system, alongside the Canada Pension Plan (CPE) and personal savings like RRSPs. Unlike CPP, which is funded by your contributions throughout your working life, OAS is funded through general tax revenues. This means that even if you never worked in Canada, you might still qualify for OAS. The program was introduced in 1952 to provide a basic level of income to Canadian seniors. Over the years, it has evolved to better support our aging population. Today, OAS is more than just a safety net. It's a significant part of many retirees' monthly income. To be eligible for OAS, you generally need to be 65 or older, be a Canadian citizen or legal resident, and have lived in Canada for at least 10 years after turning 18. One unique aspect of OAS is that the amount you receive can change over time. It's indexed to inflation, which means it goes up as the cost of living increases. This is measured by the Consumer Price Index, CPI, which tracks the prices of common goods and services. When the CPI goes up, indicating higher living costs, so does your OAS payment. This indexation happens quarterly, in January, April, July, and October, ensuring that your OAS keeps pace with inflation. There's also the OAS pension recovery tax, often called the clawback. If your net income exceeds a certain threshold, $79,845 for the 2023 tax year, you'll have to repay some of your OAS. For every dollar above this threshold, you pay back $0.15 in OAS. This means if you're a high-income senior, you might see less benefit from the OAS increase we're discussing today. Another key component is the Guaranteed Income Supplement, GS. This is an additional monthly payment for low-income seniors who receive OAS. If your annual income, excluding OAS, is below a certain level, $19,656 for singles and $26,208 for couples in 2023, you might qualify for GS. This supplement can significantly boost your monthly income, making it crucial to understand in light of the upcoming OAS changes. The big news: OAS increasing to $1,700. Now, let's get to the heart of our video. The groundbreaking news that your OAS payments could be increasing to around $1,700 per month. This isn't just another routine adjustment. It's a substantial leap that reflects the government's recognition of the financial challenges many seniors face. First, let's put this increase into perspective. Currently, the maximum OAS payment is about $686.56 per month as of July 2023. This amount is already higher than it was a year ago, thanks to the quarterly inflation adjustments we discussed earlier. But even with these regular increases, many seniors find that OAS doesn't stretch as far as it used to. Rising costs for housing, food, and healthcare have outpaced these incremental adjustments. Enter this game-changing announcement. The CRA has confirmed that OAS payments will be substantially increased, potentially reaching around $1,700 per month for eligible retirees. That's nearly a 150% increase from the current maximum, a jump that's virtually unprecedented in the history of the program. This isn't just an inflation adjustment. It's a fundamental reevaluation of what seniors need to maintain a dignified, comfortable lifestyle in today's economy. What's driving this massive increase? It's a combination of factors. First, there's the reality of today's cost of living. Housing costs have skyrocketed in many parts of Canada. In cities like Toronto and Vancouver, even modest apartments can cost over $2,000 a month to rent. Grocery bills have also surged. Statistics Canada reports that food prices rose by over 10% in the past year alone. Healthcare costs, particularly for prescription drugs and services not covered by provincial plans, are another growing burden. The government has been monitoring these trends and hearing from seniors who are struggling. Many retirees, especially those without substantial personal savings or workplace pensions, are finding it increasingly difficult to make ends meet. Some are even going back to work part-time or moving in with family members, not by choice, but out of financial necessity. Another factor is Canada's changing demographics. We're living longer, healthier lives, which is wonderful, but it also means our retirement savings need to stretch further. In 1970, the average life expectancy at 65 was about 15 years. Today, it's over 20 years. That's 5 extra years of expenses to cover, all while costs are rising faster than ever. The COVID-19 pandemic also played a role. It disproportionately affected seniors, not just in terms of health risks, but also financially. Many retirees saw their investment portfolios take a hit during the market downturn. Some had to withdraw more from their savings to help family members who lost jobs. Others face increased costs for things like grocery delivery and private transportation to avoid public spaces. Moreover, the pandemic shone a spotlight on the conditions in some long-term care facilities. This sparked a national conversation about how we treat our elders and whether we're providing them with the resources they need to age with dignity. The OAS increase can be seen as part of a broader societal shift towards better supporting our senior population. Political factors are at play too. With an aging population, seniors represent a growing and politically active segment of the electorate. Parties across the spectrum recognize the need to address retirees' financial concerns. This OAS increase isn't just good policy. It's good politics, reflecting a rare point of cross-party agreement in today's often divisive landscape. It's also worth noting that this OAS boost aligns with international trends. Countries like New Zealand and the Netherlands have been enhancing their public pension systems to better support retirees. Canada's move puts us in step with other nations that are re-evaluating how to provide for their aging populations in the 21st century. This increase isn't just a one-time boost either. Like the current OAS, this enhanced payment will be indexed to inflation. So if the cost of living continues to rise, and most economists expect it will, your $1,700 monthly payment will grow accordingly. This ensures that the boost's impact isn't eroded by future price increases. Who's eligible? The news of OAS payments potentially reaching $1,700 per month is undoubtedly exciting. But the question on every retiree's mind is, am I eligible? The short answer is that if you currently qualify for OAS, you're likely to benefit from this increase. However, the full picture is a bit more nuanced, so let's break it down. First, the basics. To be eligible for OAS, including this enhanced payment, you generally need to be 65 or older. There are some exceptions. You can defer OAS up to age 70 for a higher monthly amount. Or in rare cases, you might qualify as early as 60 if you were born before 1954 and meet certain criteria. But for most people, 65 is the magic number. Citizenship and residency are the next requirements. You need to be a Canadian citizen or legal resident at the time your OAS is approved. More importantly, you must have lived in Canada for at least 10 years after turning 18. This reflects the principle that OAS is meant to support those who have contributed to Canadian society, even if not through formal employment. The 10-year rule has some flexibility. If you've lived in Canada for at least 20 years after turning 18, you can receive a full OAS pension even if you're living outside Canada. For those with fewer years, you might still get a partial pension. There are also international agreements that let you count time lived in certain other countries towards your 10-year requirement. Now, here's where it gets more complex. The amount of OAS you receive is prorated based on how long you've lived in Canada. For each year of residence after age 18, you earn 1/40th of the full pension, up to a maximum of 40/40ths, or 100%, at 40 years. So if you've lived in Canada for 30 years after turning 18, you get 30/40ths or 75% of the full OAS amount. This prorating will apply to the enhanced OAS payment as well. So if the full payment is indeed $1,700, and you qualify for 75% based on your years in Canada, you receive $1,275 per month. Still a substantial increase from current levels, but not the full $1,700. It's also worth considering less common situations. What if you're a newcomer in Canada, having arrived after age 50? You might not have enough years to qualify for much OAS even with the increase. In such cases, look into programs like the Allowance for the Survivor or provincial supplements that have different eligibility criteria. Similarly, if you're receiving a foreign pension, like U.S. Social Security, that might affect your OAS. Canada has totalization agreements with many countries to coordinate benefits, but the interactions can be complex. The increased OAS could change how these international arrangements play out, so it's wise to consult a financial advisor familiar with cross-border retirement issues. Lastly, there's the question of when these changes take effect. The CRA's confirmation suggests this isn't just a proposal, but a definite plan. However, implementing such a significant change takes time. New legislation may be needed, systems must be updated, and there could be a phase-in period. While we don't have an exact start date, signs point to it happening within the next fiscal year. So if you're nearing 65 or already receiving OAS, you're likely to benefit soon. Housing costs were another major factor. Between 2015 and 2022, average home prices in Canada rose by over 50%, according to the Canadian Real Estate Association. This didn't just affect homebuyers. Many senior renters saw their monthly payments skyrocket. In cities like Toronto and Vancouver, it became increasingly common for rent to eat up more than half of a retiree's income. As Canada emerged from the pandemic, inflation became the next hurdle. By June 2022, the inflation rate hit 8.1%, the highest since 1983. Food prices rose even faster, with items like pasta up 20% year over year. While OAS is indexed to inflation, these adjustments happen quarterly, meaning retirees were always a few months behind the rising costs. And most importantly, remember that your retirement should be about enjoying life, not stressing over money. That's why I'm here, to handle the financial nitty-gritty so you can focus on what matters. If you found this helpful, you know what to do. Like, comment, and share. Your support helps me reach more seniors who need this info. Until next time, this is Michael from Seniors Money, helping you secure the retirement you deserve. Stay savvy, my friends.